Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm back with another recap of Bad Boy Texas. So I'm kind of late with these, so better late than never. So we're gonna do both 10 and 11. The party's over, and are we good? So basically, episode 10 in a nutshell is once everybody arrived at the studio and Jonathan knocked out Raz B because he was talking crap, but then also at the same time, he brung a knife there. So everybody was reeling from that. So eventually security had to take him out, and then words were said to each other, and Raz was like kind of spazzing out once he got outside. And then the boys upstairs, they were still just like, why would he bring a knife to, basically, why would you bring a knife to a gunfight situation? Like, you couldn't just be man about it and talk like men do. Like, what harm was you trying to cause? Like, you could have did serious damage to yourself and the others that was involved. So, Rise Beasley, like I said, is spazzing out outside. And the security is there. So, eventually, Curion wasn't there, but he ends up showing up to the studio because I guess he wasn't feeling well at the time. So he starts talking to him outside, like, listen, calm down, relax, trying to get him like some good positive vibes. And just basically talking some sense into him because I guess Razby done drunk too much. And he basically wasn't hearing what nobody got to say. And he basically was just like on 1,000. He don't care, like one. He's coming, if you're coming for one, he's coming for all. So that's basically what type of time he was on. So eventually his car gets there and Carrion's still talking to him or whatever. He walks him to his car, and then he gets in his car like, listen, you just need to sleep it off, you know, try to regroup and stuff like that. Meanwhile, at the studio, eventually everybody just was like, okay, this went this way. Let's just focus on getting the song together. They started putting some beats around. Adonis, Mo, Prince, and I think Chef D and the rest of, Chef D, they was just like getting into the vibe and the groove was like that. So there was this one beat, I think that Prince mixed up or whatever that, you know, everybody was vibing with. They had some tracks laid down for it, just flowing up the freestyle dome. And Jonathan was hyping them like, yeah, it was really, really good. Then after a while, Jonathan got tired of that and he decided to leave. Everybody noticed once he left. And then that was that. Nobody seen him after that. So, meanwhile, yeah, that episode was like crazy, crazy. So later on that night, they had an event to go to. They at Club Thrive. So they decided to leave the studio, whatever, head to the club or whatever. So now they're back on the bus and the Sprinter or whatever. Raz B gets on the bus and he's sitting down next to Prince, and he was like, listen, we all could get smoke or whatever the case would be. Started going back, well, they have a defensive mechanism. And he had to get off the bus then too. So they eventually arrived at Club Thrive. They all having a good time. They was just like, he comes up again. And everybody's just like, it is what it is. Let's just, you know, get through this event or whatever the case would be. Next thing you know, Jonathan, he starts talking to them and they were like, okay. Then Jonathan, he sees Raz out the corner of his eye. And mind you, Jonathan's standing next to Orlando. And Orlando was just basically, he told Orlando, like, basically, can you step away to the side? So he stepped back, like, and then after that, he just had a flashback about the whole knife situation, and he ended up slapping the heck out of Raz again. So now everybody had to leave at the club, and then around that time, when the security was getting Raz out the club, Mo City came behind and started punching him and stuff like that. So it was just crazy. They eventually left. All the boys got back on the Sprinter or whatnot. And then Raz was just doing the most outside, talking to security like he gonna fight them all. He was just doing the most, basically, off of all of drunken emotions or whatnot. So yeah, that was the episode. Now into episode 11, the good part. Now, what was it? Orlando, Mo City, and Adonis, they're sitting at the table, you know, talking about like the situation with Raz. Should they let him back in the house? Everybody was like, listen, I mean, he's a bad boy. He should stay because he's really on his bad boy stuff. Honestly, I really don't care, but you know, it all depends on how Jonathan feels and whatnot. So, Orlando tells them, like, listen, his mom called and, you know, thinking if he just come back to the house, but at the same time, mostly it was like, why is this woman talking about a grown man, like, let him make his own decisions or whatnot, because, you know, at this point, he should be able to stay. So, once they finish conversing or whatever, you know, they all went their separate ways. At that same time, they was getting ready to head to Dallas, which is the last place on their tour. So, you know, they decided to like, okay, well, let's start packing up and getting some stuff together. Meanwhile, I think it's Chef D, Banger, and Prince. They're playing pool or whatnot. And they was just about to talk about the whole situation again. And in walks Rel. He was like, listen, did you miss me? So they all hugged it up. And then, even though Rel knew what was going on in the blogs or whatever about what happened with Raz B, you know, he still wanted to get filled in by the boys. Because, you know, who knows what happened firsthand by the people that was there and witnessed it all. Yeah, instead of having stories misconstrued from left and right, but whatever. So eventually, Chef D and Prince was able to recap them up for everything with the whole Raspy situation. And then nobody's seen Raz or Jonathan since the whole altercation. So mind you, everybody's getting their stuff packed up so they can head to Dallas. Then they get there. On the ride there, Chef D was all telling them, like, listen, Jonathan's birthday is coming up and we need to get everything situated. I want this and this and this together. So basically, Rel and D put some event coordinator to get the stuff done. They gave him the master bedroom so they had his room decorated and whatnot. And after everybody gets to the house, it was beautiful, big, immaculate. And it was like nobody lived there, so it was like a brand new house. So everybody went to go find their rooms or whatnot. Meanwhile, Carry On offered to help with the situation, stuff like that. Mo decided to like get a song together for him, you know, just a surprise and whatnot. So after all that stuff got together, it is now time for Jonathan to come home. So Rails and Chef D decided to greet him outside. They opened the door for him, basically gave him VIP treatment. So while the other boys are upstairs hiding in his room or whatever, they bring him in the house, give him hugs and stuff. And then they start guiding him to his room. Once they get to the room, because the other boys heard him from the outside, from the inside out, they open the door. They sound surprised. It was just beautiful. And Jonathan said that was like the best birthday ever. Because I think he turned like 27, somewhere around there. Because he's really, really young. He's really, really young. And yeah, it was the best ever. So then now they go into the bathroom. They start singing happy birthday. Chef D has this cake in hand. It was his intentions to do that. So eventually, as he's walking up to Jonathan while he's in the tub, he smashes that cake in his face. Next thing you know, there's cake flying everywhere. Rails end up falling. You know, Banger, he don't want to get his face and stuff messed up. So he just moved out the way like, girl, boy, bye. Like, go home somewhere. So after that, they're supposed to be getting ready to have an event the next day. So Jonathan really didn't want to do nothing for his birthday that night. So they decided to stay in or whatever. So at the same time, Orlando came in to talk to Jonathan about the whole Raz situation. He was like, listen, I really don't got nothing to smoke against this boy and whatever the case may be, but all I just wanted is an apology. And Orlando was like, okay, cool. So you enjoy the rest of your birthday and stuff like that. So later on, Raz decides to show up, and he got this ski mask all yellow because his face is messed up from left to right, literally. So Jonathan's downstairs fixing him some orange juice and a snack, and them two converse, and basically Raz did his big one. He apologized. He see where he went wrong in the situation, and Jonathan was cool with that. So then after that, he was like, listen, it's not about me, it's about what the boys say. So after that, Jonathan comes into, I guess, the foyer where the boys are at, and everybody's looking for Mo. Mo was outside on the phone, so somebody went to go get him, and he came in, was like, listen, my bad, my bad. So Jonathan was telling him, like, listen, I know how things went and stuff like that, but I just want y'all to see where y'all was at with the whole Raz situation. So eventually, he calls Raz, and he walks up, and yeah. So next week's episode is supposed to be about Raz confronting the boys about his actions and seeing if they can let him in the house. But it's only one city left, so he might as well finish out strong. Even though he was the one popping most of the crap for numerous days on end, like, and everybody didn't do nothing. But, you know, we'll see. Who knows? But, yeah. And, you know, Jonathan finishes out his birthday and everything like that. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the recaps of both 10 and 11, because it really ain't missing much of nothing, but you know how it goes. Oh, my voice starts kind of hurt terrible. But anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.